Hi Samir, how are you?
Pleased to meet you again, Lizzie.
What about today's discussion, Samir?
I have brought a question, Lizzie. Let us discuss this. Find the poet who is the odd one in the group. Sad. A. Robert Lowell. B. Sylvia Plath. C. Anne Sexton. D. Wallace Stevens.
We shall discuss the poets given one by one, Samir.
Sure, Lizzie, we will start with Robert Lowell. Robert Lowell is a 20th century American poet. He was considered an important part of the confessional poetry movement.
What is confessional poetry, Samir?
Confessional poetry refers to the style in composing poetry. It emerged in the United States during 1950s. The poets concentrate on their personal affairs. The focus is on the individual's experience. It includes taboos such as mental illness, sexuality, and suicide. Poets wanted to overcome the so-called realities during 20th century.
Why they wanted to overcome reality?
Reality is horrifying. So they poets concentrate on personal to avoid this horrific realities.
What made Robert Lowell to write confessional poetry?
Lowell's parents had great influence on him. They were very proud of their family roots. They keep on praising their ancestry. The result in Robert Lowell is repression and isolation. Lowell unleashes his powerful feelings in his confessional poetry. His book Life Studies, The Examination of an Ailing Soul, is his masterpiece. His poetry expresses his preference for grandparents to his parents. He couldn't express his real feeling even at the death of his mother. In one of the poems he ruminates over suicide. So the themes of his poems are childhood misery, marital discord, and mental illness.
Shall we move to the next writer, Samir?
Sure, Lizzie.
Sylvia Plath is a 20th century American poet, novelist, and short story writer. The genre confessional poetry progressed considerably with her contribution. Her masterpieces are the collections of poems Colossus and other poems in Ariel. The Bell Jar is her semi-autobiographical novel. She won Pulitzer Prize for her poems.
Lizzie, what made her to write confessional poetry?
Sylvia Plath was married to the British poet Ted Hughes. Later they got separated. It is very sad that she committed suicide. Ariel Poems deals with the very personal issues of suicide, sex, her children, and her complicated relationship with her deceased father.
Good, Lizzie, we shall move to next writer, Anne Sexton.
Sure, Samir.
Anne Sexton is another 20th century American poet. She is best known for her confessional poetry. She was a good friend of Sylvia Plath. Her collection of poem Live or Die received Pulitzer Prize. In her poetry she presented her personal details like her depression, suicidal tendencies, and her relationship with her husband and children.
And the final writer we have to discuss today is Wallace Stevens.
Yes, Lizzie. Wallace Stevens is a 20th century American poet. He received Pulitzer Prize for his collection of poems. She poetry deals with imagination and reality. According to him, reality is the product of imagination, which shapes the world. He considers reality as not constant. It keeps on changing as our imagination perceives. Stevens believed that life is worth living and poetry is worth reading. In this way he is different from the confessional poets, who always ponder over death and other illness of mind.
Therefore find the poet who is the odd one in the group. A. Robert Lowell. B. Sylvia Plath. C. Anne Sexton. D. Wallace Stevens. The odd man out is Wallace Stevens.
Good, Lizzie, we had a nice discussion.
Take care, Samir. Meet you soon.
Bye, Lizzie, take care.
For more videos, comment, like, share and subscribe.